The Santiago Bernabéu stood like a cathedral under the Madrid sky, its pristine white façade gleaming in the late afternoon sun. After years of separation, two legends were about to reunite on the sacred turf, where they had once written football history together. The air crackled with anticipation as 80,000 fans filled every seat, their voices creating a symphony of nostalgia and excitement. Cristiano Ronaldo adjusted his captain's armband one final time as he stood in the tunnel. At 42, his sculpted physique still commanded respect, though silver threads now danced through his perfectly styled hair. Beside him, the Real Madrid Legends team waited in reverent silence, each player understanding the magnitude of this moment. This wasn't just another exhibition match, this was history in the making. In the opposite tunnel, Karim Benzema pulled his boots tight, his fingers trembling slightly with emotion. The Frenchman had agreed to play for the World All-Stars team, knowing that this match would mark the end of an era. At 39, he moved with the grace of a seasoned artist, every gesture deliberate and meaningful. The weight of their shared past pressed upon both men like a beautiful burden. The referee's whistle pierced the air, and 22 players emerged from the tunnels like gladiators entering the Colosseum. The crowd erupted in a deafening roar that seemed to shake the very foundations of the stadium. Ronaldo led his team with purposeful strides, his eyes scanning the opposition until they found Benzema. For a brief moment, time stood still as the two legends locked eyes across the field. The opening ceremony was a masterpiece of emotion and spectacle. Giant screens displayed a montage of their greatest moments together: the Champions League victories, the impossible goals, the celebrations that had defined a generation. Children from local academies formed a guard of honor, their faces glowing with wonder as they witnessed living legends preparing for their final dance. As the national anthems played, both Ronaldo and Benzema stood with hands over hearts, their minds surely drifting to the countless battles they had fought side by side. The Portuguese superstar's jaw was set with determination, while the French maestro's eyes glistened with unshed tears. This was more than football, this was the closing chapter of an extraordinary brotherhood. The match began with an intensity that belied its exhibition status. Ronaldo, wearing the iconic number 7, immediately imposed his will on the game. His first touch drew gasps from the crowd as he effortlessly controlled a difficult pass and launched a counter-attack that nearly resulted in an early goal. Every movement was poetry in motion, a reminder of why he was considered one of the greatest to ever play the game. On the opposing side, Benzema watched from the bench with the patience of a master craftsman. The plan was for him to enter in the second half, creating a crescendo of emotion that would leave not a dry eye in the house. But even from the sidelines, his presence was felt. His teammates constantly glanced toward him for guidance, drawing strength from his calm demeanor. The first half unfolded like a carefully choreographed ballet. Ronaldo scored a trademark header in the 23rd minute, his leap seeming to defy gravity as he hung in the air like a suspended statue. The celebration was subdued, almost melancholic. Even in triumph, the weight of finality pressed upon him. The crowd chanted his name with religious fervor, understanding they were witnessing greatness for possibly the last time. As halftime approached, the tempo increased dramatically. The Real Madrid legends pressed forward with renewed vigor, inspired by their captain's leadership. Ronaldo created chance after chance, his vision and passing ability as sharp as ever. A perfectly weighted through ball nearly found Raul in the 41st minute, while a curling free kick in the 44th minute forced a spectacular save from the World All-Stars goalkeeper. The halftime break felt eternal for the 80,000 spectators, their conversations a mixture of awe and anticipation. They knew what was coming. The entrance of Benzema in the second half would create a moment that would live forever in football folklore. Social media exploded with videos and photos from the first 45 minutes, each post carrying the hashtag #LastDance. When the teams emerged for the second half, the atmosphere reached fever pitch. Benzema was among the World All-Stars players warming up on the sideline, his every movement tracked by thousands of cameras and millions of eyes. The French striker stretched with methodical precision, his face a mask of concentration hiding the storm of emotions within. The 60th minute brought the moment everyone had been waiting for. The fourth official held up the substitution board, and Benzema's number appeared like a beacon of hope. The stadium erupted in a standing ovation that lasted a full 3 minutes, with fans from both sides applauding the legendary striker as he prepared to enter the fray. Ronaldo himself joined the applause, a gesture of respect that brought tears to many eyes. Benzema's first touch was perfection, a delicate flick that bypassed the defenders and found a teammate in space. The crowd roared its approval, recognizing the class that had made him one of the most complete strikers in football history. His movement was fluid, intelligent, always finding pockets of space that others couldn't see. Age had refined his game rather than diminished it. The match transformed into something magical with both legends on the field. Every pass seemed to carry extra weight, every run more purposeful. Ronaldo began drifting wider, his eyes constantly searching for his old partner. The chemistry that had once terrorized defenses across Europe began to resurface, like muscle memory that could never be forgotten. In the 68th minute, fate intervened. A loose ball fell to Ronaldo on the right wing, and time seemed to slow as he looked up to see Benzema making his signature run into the box. The Portuguese maestro's cross was inch-perfect, curling away from the goalkeeper and finding Benzema's forehead with surgical precision. But the French striker's header sailed just over the bar, drawing a collective gasp from the crowd. The near miss only intensified the drama. Both teams seemed to understand that something special was brewing, and the pace of the game increased accordingly. Tackles flew in with good-natured aggression, while the technical quality reached levels that seemed impossible for players of their age. This was football as art form, played by masters at the twilight of their careers. Then came the 75th minute, a moment that would be replayed for generations. The Real Madrid legends coach made a tactical substitution, bringing on a fresh midfielder. But more importantly, he gave Ronaldo instructions that would place both legends in closer proximity on the field. The tactical shift was subtle but significant, creating the conditions for magic to happen. As the two superstars found themselves working in tandem, the crowd sensed history in the making. Every touch was cheered, every pass celebrated like a goal. Photographers jostled for position, understanding that they might be capturing the final images of one of football's greatest partnerships. The atmosphere was electric, charged with the kind of energy that only comes with truly special moments. The breakthrough almost came in the 81st minute. Ronaldo's trademark step-over left the defenders on the ground, and his cross found Benzema lurking at the far post. The Frenchman's volley was struck with venom, but the goalkeeper produced a save that belonged in a museum. The crowd was on its feet, sensing that the moment of destiny was rapidly approaching. With 5 minutes remaining, the inevitable finally happened. Ronaldo received the ball in a familiar position slightly right of center, about 25 yards from goal. But instead of shooting, he looked up and saw Benzema making a run that they had perfected hundreds of times before. The pass was weighted to perfection, splitting the defense like a hot knife through butter. Benzema's first touch was exquisite, taking the ball away from the last defender with a delicate flick. His second touch set up the shot, and his third was pure poetry. The ball sailed into the top corner with the kind of precision that only comes from a lifetime of dedication to the craft. The stadium exploded in a cacophony of joy, relief, and pure emotion. The celebration was unlike anything ever seen at the Bernabeu. Benzema fell to his knees at the corner flag, overwhelmed by the magnitude of the moment. Ronaldo was the first to reach him, pulling his old partner to his feet in an embrace that seemed to last forever. Teammates from both sides joined the celebration, understanding that they had witnessed something truly special. As the final whistle approached, both teams seemed reluctant to let the moment end. The pace slowed to a more contemplative rhythm, with players from both sides exchanging shirts and embracing like old friends. The competitive edge had given way to pure celebration of the beautiful game and the bonds it creates between extraordinary athletes. The referee's final whistle was met with a bittersweet mixture of applause and tears. Players from both teams congregated at the center circle, their arms around each other's shoulders in a display of unity that transcended club loyalties. But all eyes were on Ronaldo and Benzema, who stood apart from the group, sharing a private moment of reflection. The ceremony that followed was a masterclass in emotion and respect. Both legends were presented with commemorative trophies, their names etched alongside their greatest achievements. But the most powerful moment came when they exchanged jerseys, not the typical post-match swap, but a deliberate, ceremonial exchange that symbolized the end of an era. Standing shoulder to shoulder at the center circle, Ronaldo and Benzema raised their arms to acknowledge the crowd one final time. Tears streamed down both men's faces as 80,000 people rose as one, their applause echoing through the Madrid night like thunder. Fireworks exploded overhead, painting the sky in brilliant colors that reflected the magic of what had just transpired. As they walked off the pitch together, their arms around each other's shoulders, the two legends left behind more than just memories. They had proven that football, at its purest, is about more than goals and trophies. It's about human connection, mutual respect, and the bonds forged through shared triumph and adversity. The Santiago Bernabeu slowly emptied, But the echoes of this magical night would reverberate through football history forever. Two legends had said goodbye not just to the game they loved, but to a partnership that had defined an era. Their last dance was complete, leaving the world with the reminder that in football, as in life, the greatest victories are often shared with those who matter most.